Hi, I'm Dr. Mboj, and as you can see today, I'm inviting you to my 46th tutorial on the GRE. What I would like to do today is to show you how you simplify a polynomial. In order to do this, I have taken here the following example, which you can see on the board. Now, in this example, we have a polynomial which is made up of 6 terms. In other words, the number of monomials that are involved in this polynomial are 6 in number. So, in order to simplify this polynomial here, I'm going to proceed in several steps. Well, I can solve the problem that I have here very quickly. I know some people know how to do this too very quickly, but I'm going to break it down in several steps since the group of people that I'm targeting here are those that may not be very good at mathematics, at algebra. So therefore, I'm going to proceed in several steps here in order to allow everybody to follow with ease. So my first step here would be to transform all the subtractions into additions. Now, if you can remember, in one of our previous lectures, we said to subtract one number from another. For example, if I write a minus b, well, a minus b is simply equal to a to which you have added the opposite of b. In other words, subtraction is the same as the addition of the opposites. Okay, so here, this principle here is the principle which I'm going to use in my first step in order to transform this polynomial here into a polynomial that is more easily dealt with. So here, what I'm going to do is to write the following thing. I'm going to say here I have negative 10 x squared, okay? I have negative 10x squared added to 4x, okay? As you can see here, this is what I have. Then to subtract the 7 from the 4x, well, I'm going to say that is the same as adding to the 4x here the negative of 7. So this is what I have then after transforming this subtraction here into an addition of the opposite of the 7. Now I do the same thing with the minus 3x squared here. So I'm going to say that this is the same as adding to the expression on my left the negative of 3x squared. So here I'm going to write negative 3x squared like this, okay? And then here I copy my x, and to subtract 2 from the expression to the left of 2 then is the same as adding the opposite of 2. So therefore this is what I have. As you can see now, all the subtractions in my polynomial have been converted into additions of opposites. Okay, so this is my first step. Now in my second step now, what I'm going to do is to group the binomials that have the same variable parts. In other words, I'm going to group all the like binomials together. Now this binomial here, as you can see, is like to this one here. In other words, these two binomials here are like binomials. So because they are like binomials, I'm going to group them together. So here in this square bracket here, I'm going to write negative 10 x squared, okay? Negative 10x squared, as you can see here, I have negative 10x squared added to negative 3x squared. Okay, so here I have grouped in this square brackets these two binomials, okay, because they are like binomials. Then I will write plus, and in my next square bracket now I'm going to group the 4x with the x here. Why? Because these two binomials are also like binomials. So here I'm going to group here 4x plus x. Okay, so now I'm finished with the 4x and the x here, and I'm also finished with the negative 10x squared and the negative 3x squared. So all I'm left with now are these two terms here. So because neither of them contains a variable, the two terms here are also like, okay, and because they are like, I'm going to group them together in another square brackets. So here I have negative 7, okay, plus negative 2, okay. So this is what I have now after grouping all the like terms together. Now, in order to find out the answer to this, in order to find my final answer now, well, what I'm going to do now is to simplify the contents of the square brackets. So let us start with the first square bracket here. Now, what do I get if I simplify the contents of this square bracket? Well, okay, if you're a little bit confused with how to go about with this, I will suggest that here the x squared, you interpret the x squared as an apple. So here I have negative 10x squared. So here I have negative 10x squared. So the negative 10x squared will stand for negative 10 apples. And the addition sign here will stand for the word and. And here the negative 3x squared will stand for negative 3 apples. So here I want you to consider a negative number as a loss. So here what you would say is I lose 10 apples, the minus sign here for a loss. So I lose 10 apples and I lose 3 apples. So what is that? How do you feel if you lose 10 apples and then you go on and lose 3 apples? Well, what I feel is that I have lost 13 apples. So here the loss is symbolized by the negative sign here. So therefore the content of this square bracket here is 13, is the loss of 13 apples. So therefore it is negative 13x squared. Okay, so now I'm done with this square bracket here. Now I will write here now plus, and now I'm going to deal with this second square bracket. Now in the second square bracket I have 4x and x. In other words, you have these monomials inside the square brackets here are positive monomials. So since they have positive signs in front of them, you can interpret them as a gain. So here you will say, I gain 4x. Now think of the x as oranges. I gain 4 oranges and I gain 1 orange. So obviously if you gain 4 oranges and then come back and gain another orange, then you've gained 5 oranges. So therefore this is equal to 5x. And now here with the last square brackets, how are you going to simplify the last square bracket? Well, look at the contents of the last square brackets. It is negative 7 and negative 7 plus negative 2. So to interpret this, because here I have a negative number, so I'm going to say I lose 7 and I lose 2. Well, if you lose 7 items and then you come back and lose 2 items, obviously what that is equivalent to is that you've lost 9 items. So therefore, because you've lost 9 items, so you can write here negative 9. Okay? So here, this is what we have. So now, finally, my final answer now is what? Well, here I have a plus minus 9. We all know that when you add a negative number, well, to another number, that is equivalent to subtracting a positive number. So therefore, this is equal to what? This is equal to negative 13x squared, okay, plus 5x. All I'm doing here is to copy this monomial and then that monomial. And here now, I have plus negative 9. But plus negative 9, as we all know, is the same as simply negative 9. Okay? Because we all know that to subtract a number from another number is to add the opposite of the number which is being subtracted. So therefore, here plus negative 9 is equal to, is the same as negative 9. So at this point here now, we can see that what we have gotten here is a polynomial with 3 terms. In other words, our final answer here is a polynomial that is made up of only 3 monomials. Okay? Now, before stopping, we have to make sure that this final answer that we have gotten here is in standard form. Now, is this answer here in standard form? Yes, it is in standard form, because as you can see, the degree of the first monomial is 2, the degree of the second monomial is 1, and the degree of the last monomial, since the last monomial doesn't contain a variable, so the degree of the last monomial is 0. So therefore, the degrees of the monomials are in decreasing order. And since they are in decreasing order, this polynomial here is in standard form. Okay? I hope you understand what I've done here. I will advise you, in case you have some doubt remaining, I would advise you that you go over it and play the video 1 or 2 more times and make sure that you really understand it. After you've done that, you will see that actually in this lecture here, in this tutorial, there is nothing here which is beyond your understanding. I hope you followed this. Now I'm going to stop here, but I will see you very soon in my next tutorial, where I'm going to give you some more examples of how to simplify a polynomial. Thanks, and see you very soon.